Hello everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our chapter tenses. In this session, we will cover the following topics. In this session, we will cover future continuous tense, future perfect tense, and future perfect continuous tense. Now, these three parts, that is introduction to future tense, types of future tense, and future indefinite, we have already covered in our last session. In this session, we will be covering these three tenses, that is future continuous tense, future perfect tense, and future perfect continuous tense. Okay, so let's begin this session. So, first of all, we'll discuss future continuous tense. Okay, now I told you before as well that future only covers those actions and events that are not certain to happen. Okay, it means if some sentences or some actions they show they are the predictions or the plannings or they can happen, but there is no certainty or surety for those actions to occur, these type of imaginations or the actions will be shown in the future continuous, so in the future tenses. So when we talk about future continuous tense, in continuous, I have already told you that continuous shows those type of actions that are ongoing. Okay. So if some action is going on, but we are only thinking that it will be going on in the future. So these type of actions may occur in future continuous tense. So first of all, let us see the definition of future continuous tense. Here we can see the definition. The future continuous tense, also known as future progressive tense, is a verb tense used to indicate an ongoing action that will be happening at some point in the future. It emphasizes the duration or continuous nature of an action that is expected to occur later on. It is formed using the auxiliary verbs will or shall. Often will is more common, followed by be, and the present participle, that is ing form of the main verb. Okay. Now here, future continuous tense also, it is also known as future progressive tense. Okay. Every continuous tense is also known as progressive tense. So it's a verb tense used to indicate an ongoing action that will happening at some time point in the future. Okay. It means some action that will be going on. It is not happening right now, but that will happen or that will be going on, but in the future time. Okay. It emphasizes the duration or continuous nature of an action that is expected to occur later. Now it is just an expectation that this will be going on in the future. There is no certainty about the action, whether it will be going on in the future or not. This is just an imagination or the prediction for the future. It is formed using the auxiliary verbs. Now, in case of future tense, modals are always compulsory to arrive. Okay. So, we can use either will or shall according to the subjects. Okay. With I and we generally use shall, but basically we use will with all these subjects. It is more used. Okay. Shall is also used, but obviously we write the sentences in certainty forms, in the you can say in threat, in determination, to show the warnings, to show some command, to show something will happen with certainty. So these type of sentences are generally written always. So we basically write will, or we widely use the word will. Okay, this is basic. This is the basic concept all about. Now, first of all, let us see the rules of future continuous tense. First, if the sentence is affirmative, means positive sentence. Here we have the subject, then will and shall. These are the modals. Now, after will and shall, we know well that after modals only verb first form can occur. Now, if I write first form of verb with ing, that will not occur. We want be form because continuous always requires be form. That is why we'll write be form over here as it is. Now, if I talk about present tense and past tense, we wrote there is RM and was. Why so? Because is RM and was were are the forms of be. Okay. And those verbs can behave like helping as well as main verb. But will and shall, these are the modals. Okay, these are only the modal auxiliaries. They cannot be used as the main verbs. And after modal, we necessarily require verb 1. That is why to satisfy the continuous condition as well as future continuous, we write will and shall, and after that we'll write be. Okay, and then first form of verb with ing and then the object of the sentence. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Subject, then will and shall, then not, then be, then first form of verb with ing and then object. Now in case of negative sentence, here one thing is very very important, that we should use the word not, or the negation adverb should be added just after the modal will and shall. Okay, so after will and shall, that is the modals, and before the auxiliary verb. Okay, so here subject, then will and shall, then not, then be, then first form of verb with ing and then object will come. Interrogative will and shall will occur before the subject, then be plus first form of verb with ing and then object and then question mark. Interrogative negative will and shall, then subject, then not, then be, then first form of verb with ing plus object, that after that question mark. And in WH questions, WH word will and shall, subject, be, first form of verb with ing and then object. So these are the rules of future continuous tense. Okay, now let us see the examples one by one. Here we have some examples. Will they be cooking dinner when we arrive? Now here in this sentence we can see, first of all we have modal, then they is the subject, now be, and then verb with ing, that we can call verb force form, and then dinner is the object. Now when we arrive is another sentence that we can use as the combination with the future tense. Okay, I will be studying at this time tomorrow. So I'm just imagining what I will be doing at this point of time of speaking tomorrow. Okay, suppose today, right now it is 5 p.m. Okay, and at this point of time, I'm talking about 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so today is Monday and tomorrow will be Tuesday. So I'm planning something, or I'm thinking about the work which I will be doing at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, or on Tuesday. She will be working on the project all afternoon. They will be traveling to Europe next month. So here we are doing imagination for the next month when they will be traveling to Europe. Okay. Now it depends on the data that we have of their flight. Okay. She will not be waiting for you when you arrive. They won't be studying for the exam tomorrow. Okay. So these are the imaginations which we can only imagine, but we cannot say any of these sentences with certainty. Okay, so all these sentences will be written in future continuous tense. Okay, now let us move to the next. Future continuous tense is used to show ongoing actions in the future. When talking about an action or event that will be in progress at a particular point, at a particular future time. At 5 p.m. tomorrow, now here, at the time of speaking, the speaker is planning something about tomorrow or about the next day at 5 p.m. What he will be doing, I will be working. Okay, so he will be working at that time at 5 p.m. tomorrow. It means right now he is today he's saying something, and he's actually planning or imagining the situation or the action that will be going on, that will be occurring at 5 p.m. the next day. At 8 p.m. tonight, they will be having dinner at their favorite restaurant. Tomorrow morning, I will be running in the marathon. Next month, they will be renovating their house. Throughout the summer, he will be working on his art project. By the time you arrive, we will be watching the movie. Okay. While they are on vacation, we will be taking care of their pets. Okay, so these are the sentences of future continuous tense which show the ongoing actions in the future. Okay, so these are the actions that will be going on in the future. Now, these are just imaginations or the planning, but what will happen? No one. Okay, now let us move to the next. This is another usage of future continuous tense to show predicting the present. When we predict the present tense, to make assumptions or predictions about what might be happening at the current moment. Now, this is again very, very important. Suppose there is a person A, okay, and he is in office right now. He's sitting right. So he's thinking what currently uh, will be going on in his home right now. Okay, because he is in office, he can only imagine. Uh, he cannot say anything with surety. But according to the schedules or according to the routine of people, so he is just thinking that what will be going on or what currently is going on in his home. Okay, so this is just an imagination. He's just thinking of according to the time duration. Okay, don't call him now. He will be studying. So, because maybe possible, this is the routine of someone's studying. What exactly he is doing, no one knows. But this is just an imagination that at this time, he will be studying. So it is better not to call at this time. They will be having dinner right now, as their usual, as it is their usual dinner time. He will be finishing up his work at this hour. He always stays up late. She shall be attending the conference call at the moment. It is scheduled for now. They shall be discussing the new project in the board meeting right now. Okay, so these are the current moment or the present situations which can be shown because they are the imagination. Though they are happening right now, but they are imagination. Therefore, they should be written in future continuous tense only. Okay. Now let us move to the next usage of future continuous tense. Now, future continuous tense is also used to show polite inquiry. To ask about someone's plans without the intention to influence their decision. For example, will you be coming to the party tonight? What will you be doing this weekend? Where will you be traveling next month? Now, here, if you see, will you be coming to the party tonight? This is just a polite inquiry which a person is asking another person whether he's coming to party or not. Okay, so he's just confirming from the next person. What will you be doing this weekend? So this is simply a question which one person is asking to another person uh, to ask him whether what he will be doing this weekend. Where will you be traveling next month? Okay, so this is the simple question or the polite inquiry which one person is asking another person. Okay, where shall you be spending your summer vacation? What shall you be focusing on during the upcoming project? Okay, so these are polite inquiries which one can make to another person. Now let us move to the next one. Future continuous tense is also used to show these time expressions. While future continuous doesn't pair with with as many specific time expressions as some other tenses, you will still often see it with indicators of future time such as at this time tomorrow, when, at 10 p.m. tonight, or at any p.m. tonight, all day tomorrow, etc. So these time expressions can be used in future continuous tense sentences. Examples: I will be working all day next Sunday. At 4 p.m. I will be driving. I will be flying to Paris when you arrive. It means I will be flying to Paris. It means my flight will be at that time when you arrive. So my flight time will be going on at that time. Okay, so I will be in flight at that time. They will be discussing the project at this time next week. He will be studying all day tomorrow for his exam. They will be working on this assignment until midnight. At 10 p.m. tonight, they will be watching a movie. Okay, so these are the future continuous tense which are used with these time expressions. Okay, I hope this much is clear to you all. One more thing is there when we make the passive voice of such some sentences or the tenses, this future continuous tense cannot be converted into passive voice. Okay. However, if we talk about all other tenses, they will be converted into passive voice, but not future continuous tense. One more thing, when we talk about any continuous tense or perfect continuous tense, they will not be converted into passive voice. It means present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. These three tenses are never converted into passive voice. Also, future continuous tense is also not converted into passive voice. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Here we'll discuss future perfect tense. Now, perfect when some action has already taken place. But because here we are talking about future, so here we'll write all those actions which are in imagination, which are in our imagination, and we are just imagining that these actions will have taken place up to this particular time in the future. Okay. So first of all, let us see the definition of future perfect tense. The future perfect tense describes an action that will happen or that have been completed by a specific point in the future. Now, affirmative sentences are subject, then will and shall, then have, then third form of the main verb and object. Negative, subject plus will shall, then not have, then again third form of the verb and then object. Interrogative, will and shall, then subject, then have, then third form of the main verb and then the object. Okay. After that, interrogative, negative, will, shall, then subject, then not have, then third form of the verb, then object. WH word, will and shall, subject, have, and third form of the verb, and then object. So these are the rules of future perfect tense. Okay, now let us see the example. Now, as I told you that in case of perfect tense, verb third form and the use of have are compulsory or the mandatory. Now, because this is future tense, we need modals necessarily, that is will and shall, and will and shall are always followed by first form of the verb. That is why we'll use have and not has. Okay, so these are the rules of future perfect tense. Now we'll see the example. Now we'll discuss examples of future perfect tense. So here we can see the examples. She will have completed her assignment by tomorrow. Now you can see that here the girl is imagining about some action that she will have completed by tomorrow. Okay. So she's just imagining that point of time when she has completed this particular work. Okay. But she's just imagining that this will happen tomorrow. By the time we arrive, they will have finished setting up the stage. Now, by the time is actually the phrase. This is very, very important in perfect tense. Now, as I told you, the rule of by the time expression in past perfect tense, here in the future perfect tense also, we can have this situation. By the time is the phrase, and in this sequence, present indefinite will come or will occur just after the by the time expression. So the clause which is just after the by the time expression contains present indefinite tense, where the remaining part will cover future perfect tense. Okay, so future will be shown in future perfect tense, and the present indefinite is shown in the in the by the time clause. Okay. So they will not have finalized the deal by the end of the week. Will they have arrived by the time we leave? By the next year or by next year, will you have graduated from the university? What will they have achieved by the end of the year? Where shall you have traveled by this time next month? Okay, so all these sentences are of future perfect tense. Now let us see some more. This is future perfect tense usage, completion before a future moment. It is often used to project ourselves forward in time and then look backwards. For example, by the time you arrive, I will have finished my homework. She will have finished her novel by the next month. Here we anticipate that by next month we shall have completed her novel looking back to his accomplishment. They will have moved into their new house by the end of the year. The sentence looks forward to the end of the year, imagining that they will have completed the movie into their new house. By the time he retires, he will have traveled to over 50 countries. This statement looks forward to his retirement, speculating then by then he will have visited more than 50 countries. By next week, she will have learned how to play the piano. Here we predict that by next week, she will have acquired the skill of playing the piano. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Here, future perfect tense is used to show the prediction of a future accomplishment. To emphasize the completion of an action in the future context, we write these type of sentences also in future perfect tense. Okay. She will have worked here for 10 years by the end of 2020. By next year, she will have graduated with honors. By the end of next month, or by the end of the month, he will have finished writing his novel. By the next summer, they will have renovated their entire house. By the end of the day, we will have visited all museums in the city. They will have planted the garden by the time it starts raining. By the time the meeting starts, I will have reviewed all the documents. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Here again, we'll see another usage of future perfect tense, that is, to show the time expressions of with some time expression. When these tenses often accompanies time expressions such as by then, by the time, by tomorrow, before, etc. These expressions emphasize a specific point in the future by which the action will have been completed. Examples: they will have graduated by July. Before the deadline, they will have submitted their proposals. She will have finished her assignment by tomorrow. I will have completed my training by the time the new semester starts or new semester begins. Before the concert starts, they will have they will have rehearsed all the songs. I will have read the entire book before next week. By then, she will have found a new job. Okay, so these are the sentences of future perfect tense to show the time or with some time expression. Okay, I hope you have understood all these concepts of future perfect tense. Okay, now we'll discuss future perfect continuous tense. Okay, now let's begin future perfect continuous tense. Okay, now here in this tense, you can see future, then perfect, then continuous tense. Okay, now future perfect continuous, first of all, the question arises in our mind. First of all, the question arises in our mind when we can use future perfect continuous tense. Now let me tell you a story. Suppose there is a person A. Okay. He is doing job in a company and he has done 11 months of job till now. Okay. It means he has been doing job in this company for 11 months. Okay. Now his colleagues asked him his colleagues asked him that have you completed 1 year in this company? He says no, not yet, but by next month, it means in the next month, I will have been working in this organization for 1 year. Okay, it means till now he has not completed 1 year, but by next month he will have been working in this company for 1 year. It means from the next month, he will be saying that I have been working in this organization for 1 year. Okay. So before that 1 year, he is imagining that after this month, he will have been working in this organization for 1 year. But now he cannot say this with surety. Okay. So after 1 month, he can say that. Okay. So this is just an imagination when we imagine some tasks that they will have been occurring from a particular point of time in the past, and they will be occurring um, in the future for many years or for a long time. Up to which point of time, no one knows. Okay, but these will show the years. Okay, for example, if I suppose there is a person B, and his son is 3 years old. Okay, now he just imagines that now it is 2024. Okay, and his son is in nursery class. Okay, now he imagines that after 10 years, my son will have been studying for 10 years. Okay, so he is in 2024 right now, and he is imagining the situation after 10 plus years. Okay, so this is just an imagination that will be going on from the present point of time up to the future, and we are imagining something that from the in the future part. Okay, so the future perfect continuous tense used to express longer actions or situations that will occur in the future and is expected to continue up to another point in the future. Okay, now let us see the rules of future perfect continuous tense. Okay. Now, when we know that this is perfect continuous tense, we know the requirement of these two tenses. Perfect requires have form and verb third form, whereas continuous required be form and verb with ing. So all these four situations should be fulfilled to make the rules of future perfect continuous tense. Now, the affirmative rules will be subject, then will and shall, then have, then been, then first form of verb with ing. Now, you can see over here, will and shall are the modals. Okay, and modals are always followed by verb first form. So, here we have written have, which is the verb first form. After that, we have written been and then first form of verb with ing. Okay, so here all these conditions have been fulfilled. Been is the verb third form of be. Okay, so this is the third form of be. And after that, we have written first form of verb with ing, which is after be. Okay, so here with this concept, haven't been, we have covered this concept, and continuous required be and ing. So this concept fulfills the condition of continuous tense. Okay, so in future perfect continuous tense, these are the rules to form the sentences to satisfy all the conditions of perfect as well as continuous. Okay. Now let us see negative rule of the sentence: subject, then will and shall, then not, then have been. Now remember one thing always: this not will be placed just after the modals, that is will and shall. You cannot use this word not after the word have in the sentence. Okay, I can say I shall not have been doing that. Okay, I cannot say I shall have not been. Okay, that will be incorrect. So of object, then from, or for, then time. Now one more thing is there. Generally, we write since and for in perfect continuous tenses. But in case of future, because it is not the time of past. It's something that will be going on. It will be occurring from a point of time in the future part. Okay. That is why we can only use from and for. We cannot use since. Since is basically used in past tense. Here, the since will be removed and replaced with the word from. Okay. So this is another a very important concept. Interrogative, will and shall, then subject, then have, been, first form of verb with ing, object, from and for, and time. Then in negative, will and shall, subject, not have been, first form of verb with ing, then object, then from and for, or time. WH questions, WH word, will and shall, the subject have been, first form of verb with ing, then object, and then from or for, and time. Okay. Now let us move to the next. Here we have some examples of future perfect continuous tense. According to the rules we have read, he will have been working on this project for 2 years from December 2024. Now we are thinking about a project that will initiate in December 2024. Now this time we are in June right now. Okay, and we are imagining an action that will initiate or that will start in December 2024. And from this point of time, he will be working on this project for 2 years. Okay. Now, if we talk about some more years, it means after 2 years, we are imagining a situation that he will have been working on this project for 2 years from December 2020. Okay, so it will initiate in December 2024, and we are covering 2 more years on this project, and maybe possible it will be extended in future up to what time we don't know. Okay, they will have been studying English for 6 months by the end of the course. Now, here we are just making someone picturize the scenario of the course or the duration of the course, that the end of the course. It means the course is of 6 months, and by the end of this course, it means they will be studying, or they will have been studying English for 6 months. Okay, it means the duration of the course is 6. By next week, she will not have been living here for a year. Okay, it means after next week, 1 year will be completed for her not living in this you can say living in this area. They won't have been traveling for more than a month by the time they return. Okay, it means when they return, they will not be traveling for 1 year at least. Now, won't refers to will not. Okay, or won't is the contraction of will not. Okay, when you have been practicing the piano for 10 years by your next performance. Okay, so this is just a question that by your next performance, is it that you have been practicing the piano for 10 years? Will they have been living in this city for 5 years by the next summer? How long will she have been learning French by next year? It means after by next year, the person is asking for another person's skill, or suppose there is a girl A who is learning to speak French. Now another person asks that by next year, how much time will be passed for her being learning French? Okay, what will they have been doing for the past few hours by the time we meet? Okay, so this is how we can write future perfect continuous tenses. Now, where are these type of sentences used? Now we'll see the uses of these sentences. Okay, so first of all, we'll see the first usage of future perfect continuous tense. Now you can say, okay, this is this text sentence. Let us just as some typing error. So now we will read these sentences again. Okay, it describes how long an action will have been taking place by a certain point in the future. By the time I retire, I will have been working for 50 years. Okay, here a person is thinking. Now this future perfect continuous tense. The first usage of age is to show duration before something in the future. Now, here in the first sentence, we can see, by the time I retire, a person is thinking of his retirement. That when I will retire, I will have been working for 50 years. It means this time, at the present time, he's working. Okay. But he's imagining a situation at the time of his retirement. Okay. It means the time when he will take the retirement. So he's just thinking. It means he will cover 50 years in his job when he will retire. Okay. He will have been working at the company for 10 years by the next year. This emphasizes the duration of his employment up to next year. Okay. I will have been studying for this exam for 6 months by the end of the semester. Here the focus is on the continuous period of studying leading up to the end of the semester. It means her semester will end in 6 months. Okay. They will have been living in this neighborhood for 5 years by next summer. It means in next summer, they will complete the duration of 5 years. Okay, this example indicates the continuous duration of their residence in the neighborhood up to the next summer. Okay, or you can say up to next summer, they will finish 5 years, or they will cover 5 years for of living in the neighborhood. she will have been practicing yoga for 10 years by the time she turns 40. Okay. Now this is uh, just an imagination that when she will be 20 years of old or 20 years of age, she will have been practicing yoga for 10 years. Okay. It means that when she will achieve 40 years or when she will attain 40 years of age, because she's doing yoga from today, so she will be doing it for 10 years till that time. This sentence anticipates the continuous practice of yoga leading up to her 40th birthday. By the time, now the sentence is also correct, but actually this, you cannot see it properly. However, we will just revise it. By the time he retires, they will have been running the business for 3 decades. Okay. So by the time he retires, he will have been running the business for 3 decades. Okay. It means when he will achieve the retirement, they will have been running the business for 3 decades. It means um, um, at the time of his retirement, he must have completed 30 years in his business life. Okay. So this is how you can see the sentences or the usage of future continuous tense or future perfect continuous tense. Now let us move to the next slide in which we'll see the another usage of future perfect continuous tense. So this is another usage of future perfect continuous. This is to show the cause of a future result. Okay. It can also be used to explain the reason or cause for a future situation or result. Now, future perfect continuous tense can also be used to show the reason for the future situation or result. For example, she will be tired because she will have been studying all night. Now, there is a pure imagination that uh, if she studies for the entire night, she will be tired. Okay. Now, if I say she will have been studying all night and because of this, she will be tired. So, this is the result of which of this situation. Okay. So, this is the cause and this is the this is the result. Okay. This is the result. So, to show this cause, we can use the future perfect continuous tense. Okay. They will have been studying hard for months, so they are confident they will pass the exam. The sentence explains their ongoing effort of studying hard for months leads to their confidence in passing the exam. By the time they arrive, now by the time phrase is very, very important, as I told you before as well, that when we make the sentence using by the time, now let me tell you this one over here as well, with the help of by the time expression, we make the sentence in two parts or two clauses. The immediate after clause should be in present indefinite tense. Okay, it should be in present indefinite tense. Okay, that is simple present tense. And the remaining sentence should be in future perfect tense, or it can be made in future perfect continuous tense as well. Okay, future perfect continuous tense as well. So the remaining clause can be made in future perfect tense or future perfect continuous tense. Both can be the tenses which can occur in this clause of by the time expression. Okay. So by the time they arrive is the future indefinite tense. We will have been preparing for the presentation for weeks, ensuring everything is perfect. Okay. So they're just planning for future that by the time they arrive, it means the time when they will arrive, we will have been preparing for the presentation for weeks. It means that will be the time that we will have been preparing for presentation for weeks, and we must be ensure about that time or till that time that everything is perfect. Okay. So here the ongoing preparation will have been preparing explains why everything will be ready and perfect by the time they arrive. Okay. So the remaining sentence is in future perfect continuous tense. Okay. She will have been saving money diligently for years. So by the time she retires, she will have a comfortable nest egg. The continuous effort of saving money over the years leads to the expected result of financial security in retirement. Okay. Comfortable nest egg means that she will live comfortably uh, in the at the time of retirement or at the time of old age. Okay. Now, they will have been learning Mandarin for a decade by the time they moved to China, making communication easier. Here, the ongoing learning of Mandarin will have been learning explains why communication will be easier for them after moving to China. Okay, because they have been practicing or they will have been practicing for this language for uh, for a decade means 10 years. Okay. So this is how we write future continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense for or to show the cause of a future result. Okay. Now let us move to the next. Here, future perfect continuous tense can be used with these time expressions. And what are the time expressions? Let us see. Common time expressions used with this tense include for, by then, by the time, or they. Now, by the time I have already explained to you. One more thing, before and after can also be used with future perfect continuous tense and future perfect tense. How? Let me tell you, but after these sentences, I will explain you the use of before in future perfect tense. Okay, how it is used. It is just used as the complex sentence we have read in the past perfect tense. Okay, well, first of all, let us read this. So these are the examples. I will have been reading for 2 hours by the time he arrives. They will have been traveling for a month by then. Okay, so I will have been reading for 2 hours by the time he arrives. So you can see he arrives is the present indefinite tense, which is just immediate after by the time clause, and the remaining clauses in future perfect or future perfect continuous tense. They will have been traveling for a month by then. They will have been working on this project for 6 months by the time it is completed. She will have been studying French by next semester. By then, he will have been working on this novel for a year. By the time she retires, he will have been teaching at this school for 30 years. Okay, so these are the actions which are shown by the time expression, by then expression, or some other times. Okay, now let us move. Now let us see one more concept over here for the usage of for. Okay, now this is a complex sentence. Let me explain it. Well, we write sentence in 2 clauses. Okay, and the word which is used in between is with. Now, as I told you in future perfect tense as well, in past perfect tense as well, that there are 2 actions that take place. One is first action and another is second action. And the first action is generally written before the before word. Okay, and here we'll write the second action. And I told you about both of these actions, that first action is always written in. Now let me change the color to explain you it easily. Now the first action, it is written in perfect tense. Okay. However, the second action is written in indefinite. Okay, this is the basic concept and the basic combination that I have already discussed with you in the past perfect tense as well. In case of future and future and present combination, future is always combined with present tense. Okay, so this future perfect sentence will be written in future tense, and indefinite will be written in present. Okay, so future perfect will be combined with present indefinite. How? Let us make a sentence. Suppose the sentence is the train will have left. The train will have left before I reach the station. Okay, this is the sentence. Before I reach the station. So the train will have left before I reach the station. Now this sentence shows that the train will have left is future perfect tense, and before I reach the station is the present indefinite tense. Okay, so these 2 tenses combined to show the complex sentence that can be made in future or using future perfect and present indefinite tenses. Okay. Now, one more thing can also happen. We can also use the word after, but in that case, present indefinite will come prior to the word after, and the future perfect will come after the word after in the sentence. Okay, so these are the basic patterns in which these type of sentences can be written. Now let us move to the first slide to to revise all the patterns that we have discussed. Now these are future continuous tense, so just remember all these rules. You can revise these rules first: subject, then will shall, then be, and then first form of verb with ing. Now one more thing is there: when we combine this future continuous tense with time, we make it future perfect continuous tense. Okay. So future continuous tense, whenever we add some time duration with future continuous tense, it can be made in future perfect continuous tense. Well, this is the basic criteria of future continuous tense or future perfect continuous tenses. Okay, I hope this much is clear to you all. Now, if you want to learn more concepts about tenses, stay connected with me. Well, in the next session, we will be discussing the questions based on the chapter tense. Okay, till then, thanks.